Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to share and subscribe the channel. The night shattered with a sound like breaking glass. A streak of gold split the clouds, tumbling toward the earth like a dying star. In the quiet town of Black Hollow, where nothing exciting ever happened, this was enough to send people running into the streets. Alex was the first to reach the crater. He wasn't brave, just curious, the kind of guy who read too many fantasy novels and secretly wished magic was real. The ground was still smoking when he crept closer, heart pounding. Then he saw her, a girl sprawled in the dirt like a fallen angel. Her skin glowed faintly under the moonlight, her hair was silver, not from age but as if woven from starlight itself. She groaned, lifting her head, and when her eyes met his, they burned with an otherworldly fire. "You're starring," she said, voice rough but amused. Alex flinched. "You just fell from the sky." She smirked, pushing herself up with a WSE. Never seen a girl drop in before. She was hurt, a gash ran down her arm, dripping something shimmering like liquid gold. Alex didn't think, he just moved, pulling off his hoodie to press against the wound. She raised an eyebrow. "Cute, but I don't need your help, you're bleeding." "Whatever that is, it's not blood," she muttered but didn't push him away. Her name was Jessica, at least that's what she told him. Alex wasn't stupid. He knew it wasn't real, but names were the least strange thing about her. When she walked, her feet barely touched the ground. When she laughed, the air hummed like a plucked guitar string. "Why were you up there?" he asked as they trudged back toward town. "Long story," she flicked a piece of dirt off her shoulder. "Let's just say I pissed off the wrong people." "People?" he grinned. "You wouldn't believe me if I told you." Alex wanted to argue, but then the wind shifted. A sound echoed in the distance like wings, but too large, too heavy for any bird. Jessica went rigid. "We need to go now." He didn't ask why, the fear in her voice was enough. They ran through the woods past the old church into the abandoned mill at the edge of town. Jessica slammed the door behind them, breathing hard. The glow under her skin pulsed brighter, casting shadows on the walls. "Who's after you?" Alex whispered. She turned to him, and for the first time the smirk was gone. "Things you don't have names for." Outside, the trees shuddered. Something landed on the roof. Alex swallowed. "Are we going to die?" Jessica's fingers brushed his wrist. "Light, electric, not if I can help it." Then the walls exploded. The world shattered into splinters and dust. Alex hit the ground hard, ears ringing, the taste of blood sharp on his tongue. Through the haze, he saw Jessica no longer just a strange girl with scarlet hair, but something more. Her back arched as light erupted from her skin, golden and blinding. Something tore through her shirt, not fabric anymore, but shimmering translucent wings like stained glass stretched over fire. "Stay behind me," she snarled, voice layered with something inhuman. Alex barely had time to process before the creature struck. It wasn't a man, it wasn't even close. Tall as the ceiling with too many joints in its limbs, its skin shifting between solid and smoke, its face had no features, just a hollow void where a mouth should be. Jessica moved faster than Alex could follow. 1 second she was in front of him, the next she was airborne, slamming into the thing with a force that shook the walls. They crashed through the mill's rotting beams out into the cold night. Alex stumbled after them, heart hammering. Outside, the fight was a blur of light and shadow. Jessica's wings cut through the dark like blazing blades, but the creature mashed her, its form twisting unnaturally to avoid her strikes. Every time it moved, the air itself seemed to scream. Then it got hold of her. One spindly hand wrapped around her throat, lifting her off the ground. Her wings flickered, dimming. Alex didn't think. He grabbed a rusted pipe from the wreckage and swung. The metal passed right through the creature's chest like hitting smoke. It turned its faceless head toward him. Mistake, a force like a freight train slammed into Alex's ribs, throwing him onto the dirt. Pain exploded through his side, his vision swam. "Jessica," he rasped. Then light, pure, searing gold, erupted from her so bright it burned shadows into the ground. The creature shrieked, its form unraveling like thread pulled from a tapestry. For a heartbeat it writhed, then it dissolved into nothing. Silence. Alex gasped, struggling to sit up. Jessica collapsed beside him, her wings fading. Her breath was ragged. "What the hell was that?" he choked out. "A hunter," she whispered. "They don't stop, they don't get tired." She looked at him, her eyes too bright, too old for her face. "You shouldn't have followed me. You'd be dead if I didn't." She laughed, weak but real. "Maybe." Her fingers brushed his side where the pain burned worst. Warmth spread under her touch, the ache melting away like ice in sunlight. Alex shuddered. How did you? Her thumb traced his jaw feather-light. You asked too many questions. The air between them hummed, charged like the moment before a storm. Her lips were close enough that he could feel her breath warm and sweet like summer wind. Then a sound in the trees. Jessica went rigid, pulling back. We have to go now. Alex wanted to argue, wanted to ask why her hands felt like coming home, but the look in her eyes, real fear, stopped him. Somewhere they won't find us. Where that, he asked. The last place heaven would ever look. The road stretched empty under the bruised purple sky, the kind of hour where the world felt half dreaming. Jessica strode fast, her boots kicking up dust, her shoulders tense. Alex followed, ribs still throbbing where the creature had struck him. So what's the plan? He said, because silence was worse. Somewhere safe, she replied, but that wasn't an answer. She shot him a look over her shoulder, her eyes catching the last fading embers of sunset. You really don't know when to quit, do you? Alex shrugged, hands in pockets. I figured if I'm going to die for you, I should at least know why. That made her stop. She turned fully, the wind tugged at her silver-streak hair. For the first time, she looked uncertain. You wouldn't believe me. Try me, Alex said. She exhaled long and slow. Fine, but not here. She nodded toward the horizon, where the silhouette of an old, crumbling bridge cut across the sky. We talk there. The bridge was older than the town, its stones worn smooth by time. Beneath it, a river whispered secrets over mossy rocks. Jessica sat on the edge, legs dangling over the drop, her hidden wings barely a shimmer under her skin. Alex sat beside her, close enough to feel the unnatural warmth radiating off her. They're called the Hollow Ones, she said at last. The things hunting me, they don't sleep, don't eat, they just obey. Obey who? The ones who cast me out. She plucked a loose thread from her sleeve. I was supposed to be a guardian, a watcher, but I broke the rules. Alex frowned. What rules? She looked at him, really looked, and something in her gaze made his breath catch. I fell in love with the wrong person. The words hung between them, heavy as night air. Alex's throat went dry. Oh, he whispered. She laughed, but there was no humor in it. They clipped my wings, tried to burn the memory of him from my bones, but I ran before they could finish the job. Alex swallowed, and now they want you dead. Worse, her voice dropped. They want me empty, a shell to fill with whatever they please. The river below fell silent, as if listening. Alex's fingers twitched toward hers. So what's the plan? Her pinky brushed his. There's a place, a crack between worlds where they can't reach, but there's always a price. What kind of price? He asked, thumb tracing a slow circle over his knuckle, a memory, something important, something you'd miss. Alex thought of his mom's laugh, his dog buried in the backyard when he was 12, the first time he rode a bike without training wheels. Would it work? He asked in a whisper. I wouldn't ask that of you. You're not asking, I'm offering. She went still. Why? Because, he said softly, when you smile, the whole world tilts. He couldn't say more, not yet. Instead, he shrugged. Guess I've got a thing for lost causes. Jessica's breath hitched. Then she leaned in. A twig snapped in the dark. They jerked apart. The woods beyond the bridge were too still, too quiet. They're here, Jessica breathed. Alex's pulse roared. What do we do? We run. But the shadows were already moving. The forest swallowed them whole. Branches clawed at Alex's arms as he sprinted after Jessica, their footsteps muffled by rotting leaves. The air smelled of damp earth and something sharper, like ozone before lightning. Behind them, the things gained ground without sound, without breath. Then Jessica yanked him sideways so hard his shoulder popped. They tumbled down a hidden slope, rolling through ferns and thorny brush until the world spun. Alex landed hard on his back, Jessica's weight pressed against him, her palm clamped over his mouth. Don't move. Above them at the ridge's edge, the darkness thickened. A shape peeled itself from the trees, tall, faceless, its outline blurring like wet ink. It tilted its head, listening. Alex held his breath. Jessica's fingers trembled against his skin. For one endless moment, the creature stood motionless. Then, with a ripple like disturbed water, it melted back into the night. Alex exhaled shakily. What are they? Shadows of what they used to be, Jessica said, pulling him to his feet. Alex winced. His ankle had twisted in the fall. Jessica noticed immediately, her brow furrowing. Her hands hovered over his injury, warmth seeped into his skin, the ache dulling beneath her touch. "You keep doing that?" he murmured. "Doing what?" "Saving me." Her hands stilled. When she looked up, her eyes held galaxies. Alex reached out, tucking a strand of silver-streak hair behind her ear, her breath caught. The moment hung fragile as a soap bubble. Then distant screeches split the night. Jessica jerked back. "We have to keep moving." She pointed toward a faint glow between the trees. "There, that's where we're going." Alex squinted. The old graveyard loomed ahead, its iron gates rusted open. Crumbling headstones jutted from the earth like broken teeth. At the center stood a mausoleum, its door slightly ajar. "Are you sure about this?" he asked. Jessica's fingers found his, intertwining. "Yes, together." They stepped inside. The air changed instantly, thicker, heavier, tasting of copper and candle wax. Symbols carved into the walls hurt to look at, their meaning slithered away the moment Alex focused. At the far end, a mirror stood propped against the stone, not glass but a pool of ink given shape. "That's it," Jessica breathed. "The gate," Alex swallowed. "How does it work?" "We step through, but first," she turned to him, free hand rising to cradle his face, "you must choose one memory to leave behind, something that matters." "How?" "Think of it," she whispered. "Hold it close, then let it go." Alex closed his eyes. What could he sacrifice? His first kiss, the smell of grandmother's cooking, the way sunlight looked through Jessica's hair when she laughed. His chest ached. She asked, ready. Before he could answer, the mausoleum door slammed shut behind them. The hollow ones formed a ring at the threshold, hollow faces turned toward the mirror, toward them. Jessica grabbed his hand. "Think now." Alex closed his eyes, seeking a memory. The mirror's surface rippled, then the world tore apart, shadows and liquid light swirling. Alex gasped as the mirror's cold edge pricked his skin. They fell through darkness. They landed in golden sunlight, warm against his skin. Alex gasped, sitting up. His ribs ached, but the pain felt distant. Jessica tumbled beside him, wings hidden, breath ragged. For a moment they just lay there, breathing the scent of pine and wildflowers thick in the air. Alex sat up slowly. They were in a forest clearing, but not one he recognized. The trees were taller, their bark veined with silver. Overhead, the sky burned a perfect, impossible blue. "Where are we?" he asked. "The edge of the White City," Jessica whispered, standing. Her wings flickered at her back before vanishing again. "We made it." Alex stared. "That's good." She turned in a slow circle, caught between wonder and fear. "No one enters the White City without invitation, not even me, not anymore." A breeze stirred the leaves, carrying distant bells. Alex rubbed his temples. A gap nagged at his mind, the memory he traded. Yet he felt alive. "What now?" he asked. "Now," Jessica said, "we find out why the Between let us go." They followed a faint path toward shimmering gates carved from moonlight. Inside, spires gleamed like pearls, bridges of woven light arched between buildings, and above it all, winged figures circled in slow, graceful arcs. "You're from here," Alex said, voice tight. "I was," Jessica's voice was hollow, "until they carved me out of it." They entered the city. The streets were empty except for bodies crumpled near fountains of liquid light. A man lay dead, golden eyes staring blankly. Black veins spiderwebbed his skin. Jessica choked back a sob. "Liam's brother." Alex reached for her, but she moved away, horror in her eyes. More bodies lay ahead, winged and wingless, all twisted in agony. The city was a graveyard. A childlike shadow detached itself from a doorway, limbs bent wrong, head at an impossible angle. Its blank face split open to reveal needle-like teeth. "Don't look," Jessica screamed, yanking Alex sideways. The creature lunged. They crashed into a stall, glass jars of glowing liquid shattering. "Run!" Jessica hauled him down an alley. They burst into a circular courtyard. Michael stood there, not smiling, golden eyes burning with panic. He gripped a struggling figure by the throat, a woman with silver-streak hair and tattered wings. "Mom," Jessica's voice broke. Michael's grip tightened. "Don't touch her." "Let her go." Alex stepped forward. Michael's laugh was hollow. "Or what? You'll trade me another memory." The woman convulsed. Black veins spread across her skin. "No," Jessica screamed. "We have to help her." Outside, the earth trembled. From the tallest spire, the sky cracked open, ink-black darkness seeping through, tendrils spreading like poison. The air curdled, choking. Jessica's mother gasped as the corruption consumed her. "Michael," Jessica cried, "stop this." He knelt beside her, pressing his palm to her forehead. Golden light flared between them, holding the corruption at bay. "You can't stop it," her voice rasped. "Watch me," Michael growled. Jessica grabbed Alex's arm. "We need to reinforce the seal at the spire." They ran through twisting streets, guided by Jessica's flickering wings. Buildings shifted around them, living architecture. A figure blocked their path. It wore Michael's face, but black veins marred him. His wings leaked the same darkness as the sky. "Little star," it hissed, voice layered with whispers. "Left me here, now we'll never be apart." It lunged. Alex shoved Jessica aside as claws seared the air. He punched blindly, the thing staggered. Jessica was there, hands blazing with golden light. "You're not him," she shouted, pressing her palms against its chest. Light exploded in a shock wave, unraveling the creature into smoke. Jessica collapsed, breath ragged. Alex touched his chest, no blood, but an unnatural cold burned beneath his skin. Jessica's voice trembled, "Still here." The spire loomed ahead, its base pulsing with faint light. They burst through arched doors into a chamber. At its center floated a cracked glass sphere, darkness swirling inside, the prison. "How do we fix it?" Alex asked. Jessica hesitated. "It needs light, pure light like yours, but it will kill me." Alex's heart clenched. There must be another way. He remembered the vial in Michael's pocket, the memory he'd traded. Together, he said, "Let's try." They pressed their joined hands against the sphere. The moment they touched it, the world disappeared. Golden light from Jessica, silver from Alex flooded the prison's cracks. Alex saw everything, the first one's birth, the white city's rise, the moment Jessica and Lion laughed under dying stars. Then a choice. The sphere drank their light greedily, tugging at their very beings. "Let go," Jessica whispered. "It wants too much." Alex shook his head. "Not without you." The sphere pulsed. Outside, the sky cracks widened. Tendrils of darkness oozed through, dissolving all they touched. The spire groaned, buckling inward. Alex pulled Jessica close, foreheads touching. "Take it," he breathed. "All of it." Her eyes widened. She hesitated, then her lips brushed his desperate soft. Light exploded outward in a blinding wave. The sphere sealed with 1,000 clicks. The first one shrieked as the sky's cracks stitched shut. Then silence. Alex opened his eyes. The chamber was whole again. The sphere hovered serenely. Jessica lay beside him, wings reduced to faint embers, breathing shallow. He reached for her. "Jess." Her fingers twitched. "Still here." Outside, the city had changed. Corruption gone, streets glowing as if breathing again. They stumbled out, leaning on each other. Michael waited, holding Jessica's mother, whose black veins had receded but eyes remained closed. "You did it," he said softly. Alex swallowed. "What now?" Michael gazed at the horizon where dawn painted the sky. "Now you live." Epilogue 1 year later. The human world had never seemed so bright. Alex stood on the same beach from his traded memory, waves lapping at his feet. Behind him, Jessica laughed as she chased a stray dog through the sand. Her hair was silver in sunlight. She had no wings now, no celestial light, but when she smiled, really smiled, it still made the world tilt. Alex plopped down beside her, breathless. She kissed him slow and sweet. "Just this," she said, "and for the first time in a long time, it's enough." That night he woke gasping, skin tingling with the ghost of golden light. He crossed to the window. Outside on the sand, a shadow with too many joints stood perfectly still. Its faceless head tilted toward the house. Then, with a ripple like disturbed water, it raised an elongated hand and pointed at Jessica. Behind him, the bedroom door creaked open. "Can't sleep," Jessica murmured, voice thick with dreams. When he turned, the shadow was gone, just a memory, but he knew it was real. Morning brought no answers. Alex searched the beach at dawn, only seashells and seaweed. No footprints, no sign, only the certainty that the thing had been real. Jessica made coffee, oblivious to his shaking hands. "You're quiet," she observed, pressing a warm mug into his hands. "Just thinking about the boat repairs," he lied. The radio crackled to life on its own, static hissing between songs. Unexplained power outages along the coast. Residents report strange lights. Jessica froze, mug slipping from her fingers. It shattered, coffee pooling like blood at their feet. Jess, Alex said, voice low. They're coming. The storm rolled in at noon. Not clouds, not rain, but swirling darkness that blotted out the sun, silent and suffocating. Temperatures plummeted, birds fell silent. Alex bolted the shutters as Jessica paced, fingers twisting in her hair. "It's not possible," she muttered. "The prison held it." The first knock rattled the front door, then the back, then every window at once. Jessica grabbed Alex's face. "Whatever happens." The door exploded inward. Michael stood in the wreckage, coat tattered, golden eyes dull with exhaustion. Behind him, the storm writhed with shapes. "Sorry to drop in," he said, blood trickling from his nose. "We have a problem." The truth came in fragments between thunderclaps. The prison hadn't broken, it had been opened. Jessica's hands trembled. "What about your mother?" Michael's voice was gentle. She thought she could control it, use its power. He reached into his coat and produced a vial with swirling silver light. "Time to return what's yours." Alex felt his mind reel. The memory he'd traded, completely his again. The world dissolved into gold and shadow. He remembered everything: Jessica's real laugh, the exact shade of her eyes when she said she loved him, the feel of her wings wrapped around him as the world burned. When the storm recoiled, Michael collapsed against the wall, breathing ragged. "Told you she was special." Alex reached for Jessica's hand, their fingers intertwined. Light danced where they touched. Together they stepped into the storm and into whatever came next.